Hello, hello, hello. The question is piggybacking from last week. Thank our children, cousins. But the question is, yes, the answer to one question is, I'm still in this sling. But the question overall is, have you ever found yourself in the middle of chaos and you just had to do a reflection point because you knew something was way bigger than what you thought it was, and you were probably like getting set up in the best ways possible for something, miraculous, like a blessing of some sort? How many times have you ever done that? Yeah. Don't worry, I'll wait. I only got one arm. Welcome, gather in, children, gather in. It is nice to be back, one armed and all. Yeah, Welcome to a legendary mess. I am your hostess with the messiest, mostest, and the funniest one-liners, Ray Martine. I hope y'all like the new intro. It's very basic, it's very simple, but it's very me. I don't like too much. I tried, and that's where I'm sat now. You heard me? All right. Anywho. So, let's go down the rules, children. 1, this is a safe space. We don't judge. This is a safe space. We are embracing our mess. 2, I'm going to make use of this whole situation, I promise you. But that's not number 2. Number 2 is we give others grace just like God gave us grace, because we are good humans. And that extension of grace could actually be more beneficial to somebody else and yourselves than you realize. So extend grace, children. And 3, like, comment, share, subscribe. The handles. The 2 IG handles are I am Ray Martine and a legendary mess on IG. A legendary mess on YouTube, a legendary mess on Spotify. Ray Martinez on TikTok, that's just me and my shenanigans, 1 arm, 2 arms, whatever. And Rain M on, Facebook, because that's a love-hate relationship. Anywho, before we jump into the chaos, the legendariness of the messiest. Well, first and foremost, we're going to jump into the legendary mess anyways. But first, we need a messy confessions, and I got one. It's simple, but I got one, and I'm over my own shenanigans, guys. So as you know from last week, I messed up my rotator cuff yet again. If you guys do not know, I'm going to brief you. I was already having some issues with my rotator cuff. I did not know I had a very long standing injury that was never informed to me. Basically, the last few years, my rotator cuff has been agitated. Sorry, y'all. Often leaving me in positions where I'm in a sling. I know I need to have surgery, but I don't want to be one-armed for a whole year. And it's expensive, and my insurance does not cover it. Also, I have terrible, I did not disclose this last week, but I have really terrible reactions with anesthesia and things that are not my normal that I take. So my body is super sensitive. Like, if it's not Advil, Tylenol, or even a naproxen, I do not touch it because I have really terrible reactions. And I have the 2-for-1 messy confessions. So the first messy confessions is obviously it's all through this clearly. I forgot I was injured one morning, 4 a.m. to be exact. Totally forgot I was injured. I'm already propped on a million pillows, so I'm already kind of uncomfortable in a certain sense. I went stretching, laying down. Basically, like, you lay down. I don't know if everybody else does this, but sometimes I call it the lazy stretch. You lay down, you just kind of thing. I did that and forgot that my shoulder is legit out of commission. The pain that struck me, help. And when I say I was ready to cry, I was ready to cry. But I yelped like a puppy. I didn't have any tears because it was the wake up. I was like still disoriented and 100% forgot that I am one-shouldered. I'm on a detour. And I went to go, and I want to say all hell broke loose. That's not accurate. But I definitely let out a yelp like a puppy. And my kids, I love them so much. They did not get out of bed. That part isn't mine. I'm caring. I don't know whose part that is. But they did not get out of bed. It was the girls in particular. The girls were like, hey, you all right? With the door still closed, nobody got out of bed. It was like they probably, which I'm guilty of doing it on occasions. When it's like me, my siblings, or some friends, or me and the kids, we kind of look at each other. And one gets delegated to speak through a look. Yeah, it's probably one of those 4 o'clock in the morning. And I get it. It's 4 a.m. Nobody want to be woken up like that. But none of them got up out of that bed. It was a, hey, are you okay? And I was like, it took me a while to answer because I was really in pain. I was like, I forgot I was injured. Them kids was like, what? So my oldest was like, so you're not dead? You good? I'm like, yeah. She's like, all right, I'm going back to sleep. Good night. My son, on the other hand, did not even bother. He heard nothing. But it was thoroughly confused as to why at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., I'm up moving with the Spirit of the Lord playing, okay? Not that actual song, but I be when I get up in the morning, I'm grounding myself in God, okay? And music helps. So right after I get my Bible reading together and talk to God and pray over these kids and pray over everybody, I'm putting on that good music. And I know that boy was thoroughly confused as to like, why are you up this early? Why are you jolly? Why are you bouncing? He had no clue I was in extreme pain. I was doing my best to keep my spirits as high as possible, okay? The second messy confessions is, just like I told y'all, I have really terrible reactions, right? And they're a long range, okay? A long range. So I'm very cautious with things that I take. And I can literally tell you, this has been it's a gift and it's a blessing and a curse all in one. So I naturally cannot take things that are too high or too low in dosage for me, one. And if it's not my usual, like naproxen, Tylenol, and what else? Advil, obviously. Those are the only 3 that I take, but I really don't be in pain that much to be taking stuff. But if it's not those, I have really bad reactions, right? I can name a list of times, but this one in particular. So I had a prescription for something that was obviously not my normal. Did not realize it was a high dosage prescription, okay? I got it filled, whatever. This is, after whatever. So I went and took the painkillers just so I could sleep comfortably. Because my biggest issue is I like to sleep on my side. I sleep in the fetal position. I'm usually left or right. Naturally, I like laying on my left side. I just couldn't do it. And I know I can't because that will aggravate my shoulder. So I had to find a way to be creative and comfortable. Let me just tell y'all. I took the painkillers that were not my usual. And for 2 whole days, I was going through it extremely. Like throwing up, nausea, vomiting, the Hershey squirts. It was really bad. And at that point, I was like, I'm not even going to touch these. I don't want them. I actually flushed them down the toilet. And I ain't going to hold y'all. This is also part of the topic. But man, am I grateful I would suck as a pill popper because that's all I'd be doing. God is good, ain't he? Because as much as everybody's like, you want to pop pills? And I can't. And when doctors think I'm joking when I say I have really terrible reactions, So I would suck as a drug addict. Thank God. Because my body is too sensitive with things. So I wouldn't be good as a drug addict. Thank God. Okay, there's a story that comes with that. Not right now. But, I'm grateful that I have such sensitive, I'm super sensitive in that sense because, this is probably why I put on the 15 pounds. So we're going to get into that now. That's the end of our messy confessions. So let's hit that topic. It's a topic. Anywho, the question to the topic is, have you ever sat in the middle of the mess, the chaos, right? And just did a couple reflective points and then realized a couple of things, like you're being positioned for something bigger and better, or like there's a pattern to the season, or you're about to enter a new season. Anything that you notice is still big. So that's what we're talking about today. And I want to touch that this detour, I'm not calling it an injury. It's a detour. It's a redirection. We're going to use positive connotations. Okay. But this detour here, I'm kind of grateful that it happened because I naturally am not, I'm always on the go, right? So this detour definitely took me from 1,000 to a strong 80. I ain't been in the 80 percentile of movement since, well, I'll let you know, because that's a long time ago. Anywho, but this week I was noticing, normally I would complain. Normally I'm very like agitated when I have like a detour or redirection. This time I wasn't. I found myself sniffing the flowers. I found myself slowing down. I just learned a lot. So one of the things that I've learned is my vulnerability, my honesty and transparency of how I show up actually is a lot more impactful than I thought. Because I don't like walking the treadmill. I'm gonna be first to say it, but that's what I'm confined to until further notice, because I can't do the other fun stuff that I had hoped that I could do, but I can't. They don't trust the medical teams do not trust me enough. I don't trust me enough, so that's okay. God trusts me though. Anywho, with my shoulder, I've noticed, like, even though I'm just walking the treadmill or just trying to keep my body in motion, it had an impact on some of the other people who were watching me, who had been watching my progress with all of this, like from when I first came in to now. And even they're like, yo, it's amazing that you even still would want to come to the gym. I was like, because I don't got nothing else. Like, it's bad enough I'm down in arm and shoulder. Why would I can't be at home depressed, because I first of all, I wasn't even home depressed, and I put on 15 pounds in a week. So we're just going to have to get this together. Along with that, most people, this would be like a perfect point, right? Because I battled this plenty of times where I'll be working out and I get injured, and then I just don't have that leverage. I don't have that to get up and still like bring myself to the gym or something like that. Every day I find a reason to get up. And I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of the gym members who have gotten to know me, a lot of the workers, they have been so helpful. They have been so amazing. Thank y'all first and foremost to Crunch, obviously. Y'all have been really, really, really great. Shout out to my trainer. You're going to have a field day with the extra weight that I just put on. Like, I didn't come off of a whole fast, but we're going to work this out. And, anywho, Crunch has been really amazing. They've been really, really sweet. They've been, more than accommodating. But even they're perplexed at my level of, like, I'm still going to walk this treadmill with one arm. I might not be able to run it, but I'm going to do something, right? Because I do value my lower body. So I'm going to do something. Might not be able to, get away with this. But I'm doing something. There's a guy in the gym, and I will not say he is disabled or handicapped, because that is disrespectful. To me, I feel like it is. But he is very handy-capable. And I'm going to say why I use this word. He does not, so he is literally missing a hand. But he has the spirit of a lion when he walks into that gym, okay? He works out like that's nothing. And I was walking the treadmill one morning, and I was looking, and I said, I gotta be like him. He ain't letting nothing stopping him. I don't know how long he's had that. I don't tend to ask, because I don't naturally just be like, hey, what happened to that? But I'm noticing him killing it in the gym. Killing it. He made me want to up my, two-step little game. I was so, like, moved by his, and I see this man all the time, and I'm always moved by him. But I was extra moved because one day I was watching him. This is not too long ago. I'm walking the treadmill. I'm already over it because I'm like, damn, I done gained 15 pounds. The bottom of my stomach I'm losing abs. And y'all know I finally got 3 whole abs, and I'm starting to lose them. I'm going through it. And I'm grateful that God was just like, before you spiral, pay attention, look around. And I did. And I saw people who were in there with like a foot fracture still getting it in. I was proud of them. I was rooting them on. I saw my favorite couple. They're like gotta be in their 70s, close to 80s. They are really, really the dopest couple. And they outlift me. I'm not even mad at it. I'm trying to be their level, when I get to their age, God willing. And then there's this man. I'm not gonna give no names or extra details, but he comes in there, he's real peaceful, but he has the heart of a lion. And he does not let that one little thing, to a degree, stop him. He still goes in there and kills it. He still gets in there and lifts them weights. He makes it work for him. And I'm sitting here complaining the way that I was complaining about, damn, I got this injury. I can't do this. I can't do that. I miss my arm. Meanwhile, this man and others who probably have it worse or not as bad as me, or even equally, they're in the gym killing it. And I'm over here complaining about some measly 15 pounds because I lost some abs. I'm going to get them back. You watch. I had to let that pass because I'd be mad. I'm okay. But all the while I was looking at this, and I was like, dang, all right, God, I see what you're doing. He had to slow me down to get me to smell the flowers, to appreciate certain things. So I'm learning that this detour isn't the worst thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, this little bit of a detour is really a superpower, because my combat game's going to be crazy. Off the wall, baby. But it is a superpower because most people don't view me as human. They view me as either a soldier or a superhuman. And now they're kind of like, oh my God, she's hurt. That's crazy. That's real. She's actually a human. I am. Took a while. I'm sorry. Had to hide the halo. Anywho, I've noticed that this detour is more of like a blessing than it is anything else. I'm slowing down. I'm realizing like life is really not that bad. Sometimes I need to take a minute to pay attention to things. Like, I got to see my daughter shift into her confidence this morning in real timing before her performance. And I was so proud of her. I got to I don't know if the mic is still on. I think it is. I got to allow others to step in and help where I would normally do it for others. And I didn't feel offended. I felt more comfortable and at ease. I noticed that I have a really dope community, family and friend-wise. I noticed that I'm a lot more seen than I actually ever realized. And the reason I say that is because aside from, some of the gym goes, it's like, yo, wait till you come back. You know, they're hyping me up, and they're just the sweetest souls on the planet. And then I was walking from the gym like yesterday morning, and this guy stops me, and he goes, I just wanted to say, I see you all the time. You be minding your business. You go from point A to point B. You still greet people. And I don't ever know what the conditions of your day are. But I see you, and you just be, hey, how are you? How you doing? Okay, all right. The kids are good, great. You know, genuinely. And he's like, I see you hug people. He's like, even with this injury, you might have to like adjust. But he said, I just wanted to tell you, I see you all the time, every day. And I just wanted you to know, I pray and hope that your arm, your shoulder gets better, and that you come back from this 1,000 times better. And that, not even gonna tell y'all no lie, that blessed me. It did, because it was like, wow, who else is watching me? And if y'all have been, listening, I struggle with people watching me. I do. I struggle very heavily with that, because it makes me uncomfortable. But I'm kind of grateful that this is something that I'm just, learning and trying to navigate and steward well. It's also gave me a lot of time to actually go to sleep. Like, if anybody who knows me well, I am not a person who sleeps a lot. I am often like, whatever has to get done, I'm going to take a cat nap and get up and then do it at whatever time after that cat nap. But I actually got like 8 hours of sleep this last week. Not a nap. I mean, actual like getting to bed. I'm really proud of me for that. I am, because that's a big girl step for me. But I say all that to say, like, sometimes when we're in the mess, we're so focused on the mess that we don't stop and just take a minute, right? I'm going to be 1,000%. I was on go mode. God needed me to slow down, and I did. And as soon as I did, a lot of things that I thought were like the biggest problem in the world wasn't. I got to see how some people view me, how some people, show up for me. I got to have really interesting conversations. But the biggest takeaway that I have now is, like, last night I was just sitting and I was having these internal conversations with God, and I was just like, you about to set me up for something big, ain't you? Because why would you slow me down knowing good and dang well I was about to hit it? I was about to be out here on the body machine. And basically God was just like, I needed you to smell the flowers and to kind of be more present before I give you what's next. Sat me down, shut me up, and made me go to sleep. I'm not even going to tell y'all no lie. I legit was like, you know what? You got it, Father. Went to sleep. I got my PJs. I looked at them kids. I pretended I knew them and didn't know them all at the same time and got to sleep. And I say all this to say, like, sometimes what we think is such an inconvenience really isn't. It's to get us to slow down, to pay attention, to look at the bigger picture, to kind of get us to be more present, to kind of get us to understand, like, look at how far you came to where you are now. You're not the same person. I had that too. A couple of reflective realization moments. Sometimes, right, God does these things. He gets, because the assignment or the blessing or both are so much bigger that he has to reposition us, right? So I realized he had to reposition me so that this next coming forth of whatever it is going to not only be big, but it's going to blow my mind. And I needed to slow down. I needed to be where he needed me to be at. And if I would have, don't judge me, I'm just one-handed scratching. If I would have not slowed down or took a minute or let me sit down and smell the flowers kind of thing, he still would have found a way to sit me down. But I know God doesn't miss with me. He's very intentional. So he also was very like, let me slow you down enough so you could pay attention, girl. Because God knows I'd be oblivious. I'm working on it. That's why I'm slowed down. I'm on the pop out. You understand? But I'm grateful because all the things that I would have never noticed before, I'm noticing now. And I'm just super grateful that I'm not miserable out. I'm not miserable about this slowdown. Like, I'm literally making the best of it. I'm cutting jokes. I'm a one-arm bandit. Like, I'm learning how to find joy in the mess. And that's something I feel like everybody could benefit from. Finding joy in the mess. And right now, I'm having a field day. Like, I have more time to piss my kids off. Not like that. I love them. But I have more time to kind of just piss them off. The way that they piss me off with their 10,000 senseless questions, I get to do it to them. They kind of love it low-key, though. I love it low-key. So I guess we're even. But, you know, I say all this to say, like, sometimes in the middle of the mess, it's not an inconvenience. It's a redirection. And sometimes in order to redirect, we got to sit still, be present, and take a look back to see where we're at now, because we're not in the same space. So the question is, have you ever sat in the middle of the mess, the storm, the chaos, hit the reflection of, wow, who would have thought I'd be here in this, right? And then might have realized there's something so much bigger at hand. Or you just need to be at the right place, right time to have something brought to you, or something that, you know, that kind of thing. Has there ever been a time that you guys have ever experienced it, and when, and what was it? Share that. Bring it along, children. I likes this. I likes that type of energy. Yes, bring it along, children. Ooh, my neck. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all heard that too. That's real. That's all right. I'm going to walk the treadmill shortly, so I can at least get at least 2 pounds off of the 15 that I'm lying. It's way more than 15. It's got to be almost 20. But I'm gonna knock these pounds down. You watch. You wait till physical therapy kick in. It's up. Okay, it's going down brown. Anywho, think about that question. Send me your answers. Send me your stories, because it's nice. And if you haven't yet, take an hour or two, or a whole day. Disconnect. Sit down. Think about it. You'd be surprised. It's a good time. So with that being said, this is a safe space. We don't judge. Extend grace the same way that God extends us grace, because you're really good people. And it's beneficial for both parties, not just one. And like, comment, share, subscribe. I am Rain Martine / A Legendary Mess on IG, Rain M on Facebook, Rain Martine on TikTok, A Legendary Mess on Spotify, Legendary Mess on YouTube. You can find us, children. You can find us. And cousins, I love you, but God really does love you more, way more than I do. And with that being said, I am Rain Martine, and this has been an episode of A Legendary Mess. I can't really shake. I gotta kind of like do this, but this is an episode of A Legendary Mess. I hope to see you guys next week, cousins. And with that being said, let me give y'all my one arm bye-bye. We'll sign off.